Hi guys, my name is Flora Namaka. You've probably seen my face on your feed or your For You page. And that is because I have just completed a 30 days challenge where I show marketers how to use free AI tools to their advantage. And guys, your reception for that challenge was amazing. I really want to say thank you all so much for how you responded and all the heartwarming feedbacks that I got. However, I noticed that a particular feedback was repetitive, more like a question. And it was mostly young marketers reaching out with the question of trying to find out how to navigate marketing as beginners. And because of how consistent this question was, I decided to dedicate a whole YouTube video for this reason. So yes, if you're here and you're a beginner wondering how exactly to navigate this very broad field of marketing, then this video just might help you. Today's video, I'm talking about how to get started in marketing as a beginner. Let me start by clarifying this. I think that a lot of people, when they think about marketing or generally any industry, they think about the top dogs, the people who are already doing amazing things. And that is very good. It's great for you to inspire to be like some of the best people out there. But, for someone who's just starting out, you might want to also be realistic with your expectations, right? So I want to let you know that you should first of all learn to be as practical as you can with your reality. And what does that mean? Well, I need you to just make peace with the fact that your first job might not be your best experience. The conditions might not be great, the salary, compensations, there might not even be benefits, and you might have to stretch yourself beyond what you naturally would. But it's all part of the learning curve. Also, you don't have to be part of the big things to feel like you're a part of something. Even the small things all come together and culminate to the big industry that we know as marketing. So even if you feel like you have a really negligible role in your job right now, you're also part of the picture, and that's a good place to start. To start out this video, I'm going to share my own story. How exactly did I get started in marketing? Let me just start by telling you that I did not plan for it. I didn't think marketing was something I was going to be involved in. To be fair, I didn't exactly have plans for what I wanted to do. I knew that I wanted to do business, but I wasn't exactly sure how I wanted to do it. But I knew that it was something that has to be something I am passionate about. I started out in 2020. Yes, that year when it seems like everybody found themselves. I mean, of course, we had so much time on our hands thanks to COVID, and you had to think deep. And in my case, it drove me into giving a broader expression to something that I was already doing well passively, and that was movie reviews. At the time, I really enjoyed watching Nollywood movies. Yeah, I said that out loud.
God, Clark, what was that?
Your Lordship, I don't quite understand. A goat bleated.
A goat in my court?
And even right now, I still do a lot. But because I had so much time, after watching, I'll come to my WhatsApp status and I'll post reviews. I didn't exactly see them as reviews, just talk about the movies, what I enjoyed, what I thought could have been better. And I realized that I had a certain number of audiences who actually enjoyed what I was doing. And they kept saying, oh, what if you put this into a more structured form? And eventually it birthed my blog, Nigerian Content Review. Now, how does this relate to marketing? Well, there was content creation, content writing, and social media management. And guess what? I started in November 2020, and by the beginning of 2021, I had enough portfolio to impress any employer. And yeah, it landed me my first set of jobs that have so far carved my path in marketing today. So yeah, I'm saying all of this to let you know that what you actually need to navigate this path is already in your hands. You just need to look a bit closer, or maybe in this case, need someone to actually point it out to you. And that is what this video is doing for you. So I'm going to list out 5 different areas of marketing that I think are very beginner friendly and can help you start and even carve your path in marketing today. The first skill that I want to point you to is content writing. Remember that I mentioned that my own marketing started out in content writing. In fact, my very first job was as a content writer for a motivational blog. Content writing allows you to express yourself in ways that are very original and allows a dynamic flow of your creativity. And why it's best for young marketers is that it has a very low barrier to entry because there are so many free tools out there that can give you natural visibility and even land you a set of gigs. There's Medium, there's Substack, there's LinkedIn. There are so many social media platforms that can help you grow as a content writer. However, if you're someone who wants to work in marketing, then you have to transition between writing for just your creative flow and expression to actually learning what it entails to be a good content writer, because they're 2 different things. Yes. And thankfully, there are so many free platforms where you get to learn. So many free courses by Google, Coursera, Udemy, LinkedIn. so many platforms out there, and again, like I said, it has very low barrier to entry. So while you're learning and you're posting your content and you're talking about it and you're implementing what you have learned, by the time people come to you and see that your latest write-up is way better than what you started with and even the previous one before it, they will see a trajectory of growth, and you can easily position yourself as someone who is ready to handle real life jobs. So yeah, that's one way to get started. The second one I'm going to talk about is social media management. This is probably the most popular way anybody gets started in marketing. But because this is the case, there's often that temptation for people to think, oh, I have a phone and I spend most of my day on my phone. I might as well be a social media manager.
You think it's a joke?
Yeah, please. If that is you, then I want you to unlearn that. Social media management is real business. It is serious work. People actually entrust you with their page, their business growth, their objectives, the engagements, and all that represents their business online. So don't just see it as the same thing that happens when you're scrolling or doom scrolling on your phone. They're not the same. Now, if you want to actually get started in social media management, then I would encourage you to first of all ensure that it is something that you enjoy, because it can be quite tiring when the expectations start to kick in and the results are not showing, when you're hoping that the algorithm understands the work and the amount of time you put into that piece of content and you really want it to go viral, and all your genuine efforts are not coming together to give the results that you promised, then you're going to know that it goes beyond just posting. And then you might question your life choices.
Oh, Chim.
So ensure that it's something that you enjoy and can stick to for a long time. But I must say that sometimes you do not know that you really enjoy something until you get started. So it's okay to not know. Try it out, but always be honest with yourself. Now, for social media management, just as I said for content writing, you have to continuously learn. There's so many things you can check on Google. There's so many things you can learn on YouTube. I don't know, but if you're still here, then I need you to know that YouTube is your best friend as a marketer, because there are so many amazing creators like myself that are putting out good, valuable knowledge 24/7 around the clock on YouTube. And just take it as your best friend, literally. It's going to help you be on top of what is going on in marketing. So yes, social media management is a great place to start, but don't just start blindly. Ensure that you learn, take courses, read case studies, check for some brands that are already doing well in the niche or some of the niches that you think you're interested in, and study how exactly their social media is doing. Study what they're trying new or what they're doing differently from the others that are not doing well. Just put these things together. Marketing is almost like mathematics. It's almost like 1 plus 1. Well, scratch that. Not all the time. But I mean, theoretically, yes, it should be like mathematics. Theoretically. So yes, at the beginning stage, you want to see if this person is doing this and getting this, and this person is not doing it and not getting it. It simply means that this is why this person is doing better than this person. Another beautiful thing about social media management is you can use yourself as a portfolio, as your project. Just choose a niche and show up consistently so that when you actually apply for those jobs, there's going to be something to prove that you're actually worth the try. Next is SEO, search engine optimization. Just as the name sounds, it simply means you optimizing certain keywords or phrases to be able to top up in search engines. Be honest, how many of you go past the first page on Google? Exactly, I don't. In fact, I don't even go past the third result, because I feel like if I don't find it in the first 3, then I mean, you probably know what I'm looking for. So yes, that is exactly what SEO does for a business. It simply is getting them to feature at the top whenever there's a keyword search that is related to their niche or brand. Now, there are 2 types of SEO. There's the organic and there's paid SEO. Organic SEO simply involves you using content and organic stuff to get your page to rank for certain keywords and phrases, while paid SEO is, just like the name implies, you get to pay for your content or business to rank for certain keywords. Now, if you're handling SEO for a shoe business based in Lagos, Nigeria, you probably stand a chance to get it featured organically using shoes in Lagos. But you do not stand a chance to get it featured by just typing shoes. Do you know how many businesses have ranked for shoes? And guess what? Even with paid SEO, the keyword shoes is way too broad for your business to feature. So yes, SEO can be really technical, and it takes you being quite calculative to be able to really get it right. But then if you learn the right set of skills, then you're just going to be on your way to the best career that you'd ever have. Also, there are different kinds of keywords. There are broad ones, there are long tail keywords, there are shorter ones, there are phrases, there are different kinds of keywords that you get to rank for. But then again, there are so many technicalities involved in it. For instance, a small business has probably little to no budget to invest in SEO. And so you're going to focus a lot more on organic SEO. And that involves you ensuring that all the content on their website, the articles, the blogs, their Google My Business page, their social media pages are all properly optimized for certain keywords that represent them in their niche, so that when someone searches that business or something related to what they do, they actually come up, right? And it takes time. It really does. It might take months, a year, depending on the consistency, the budget, what exactly the objective is as well, and so many other things. I'm not an SEO specialist, so you might have to go research on that, but find out about it. If it's something that you're interested in, then I think that, you should get started in it. Of course, always ensure that you learn before you take a deep dive. And yes, there are so many SEO tools that can help you tell your optimization score for your writings, your articles, or blog posts before you even put them out. So you'd input whatever keyword or phrase you're trying to optimize for, and it's going to tell you how well that article did. There's Yoast SEO, there's Phrase, there's SEMrush. A lot of them dabble between free and quite pricey. You're going to have to do the finding out yourself. Well, yeah, that's all I have on SEO. Now for the next point. Another area of marketing that you can get started in, and again, this has a low barrier to entry, is content creation. Content can be in different forms. There can be graphics, there can be pictures, there can be videos, writing. Anything is content. To get started in content creation, all you really need these days is a smartphone. That is if you want to do photography or video creation. If you want to get started in graphics designing, you might need a laptop and some design softwares like Adobe Photoshop, and I will start in Canva, but people say Canva is not a real design tool, so I leave that to your discretion. But yeah, that's that for graphics. For video editing and photography, you just need your phone, and it doesn't have to be an iPhone. There are people doing amazing things with Android phones. All you need to just do is learn how to set the exposure, aperture, shutter speed, lighting. All of these things you can learn on YouTube. Like, there are so many free resources that can help you. Like I always say, learn, learn, learn. It's very important. If it's photography, if it's video editing or video making and editing, I mean, you just can't take pictures and not edit. You also just can't take videos and not edit. They go hand in hand, right? There's so many YouTube videos that can help you. So yes, I would encourage you to try that out and make sure that you post, because it's one thing to have these things, but if I don't know about it, of what use is it to you? Exactly. See, it's not that hard. And finally, for my personal favorite, we have paid advertising. There's just something about paid advertising that gives me this high. There's something about having to actually set a target audience, determine how exactly an ad comes to them, and help a business reach its end goal in the way that you predicted. It's not always the case, but I mean, a very large percentage sometimes always happens, and it is very, very fulfilling. Now, how do you get started in paid advertising? This is not the click boost post on Instagram. If that is you, then please, you are not a paid advertiser, at least not yet. There are so many technical things that you need to learn. This doesn't exactly have the low barrier to entry, because there are some things that you may need to learn that is not popular knowledge, and you might not find on some free tools and resources like on YouTube. You might actually have to pay for courses, but you can actually get started with what is on YouTube. And the good thing is, when you're making money, you start reinvesting in yourself until you grow from there. So yes, with paid advertising, you can run ads on any social media platform. There's also programmatic advertising, but that's for a more advanced class, not for today. Some of the most popular platforms for paid advertising include Meta, that is Instagram, WhatsApp, and Facebook. Almost everybody wants to run ads on those platforms. There's also LinkedIn. For some reason, people run away from LinkedIn ads. They say they are too expensive and the ROI is not that great. That has not been my experience, but I mean, I respect people's experiences. There's also Google, which is the search, the video, YouTube, and different kinds of ads. There's Pinterest, there's Snapchat, there's so many. I can't really remember all of them right now off the top of my head. But yes, you can learn how to get started in these platforms and try. I know that with this one, you might not exactly have the money to start, but it doesn't have to be in the big budgets, right? You can decide to dedicate 5,000 naira and spread it across a few days, depending on what the platform allows. I think Meta is one platform that allows for the lowest kind of budgets compared to every other social media platform. Just get started. Test for how you achieve the ad objective. Test for how you get return on ad spend. Test for how you set up and properly optimize the audience. Test for how you're able to research on who an ideal audience is from just a description or a persona. Test for how you're able to identify their interests, their locations, and every other necessary demographics. Test for so many things, and most importantly, of course, the return on investment, as return on ad spend. What exactly was the result like compared to what you expected? And all of that is going to culminate to your bank of knowledge and even portfolio, so that when people come to you, you'd be able to say, okay, with this little budget, I was able to achieve this. And oftentimes it's really impressive. Throughout this video, I've broken down 5 skills that I think are very useful for people who are just getting started in marketing, as it's going to help you navigate the industry and also help you create your own portfolio so that people would see the value that you bring and can add to any team. And just before I end this, here are some key takeaways that should remain at the back of your mind. First, always come with the disposition of learning. Ensure that you learn, do some research, even if it's just to watch a video on something before you actually take on a task or a role, because this is real work. Marketing is real life. Some mistakes are allowed, but if people are committing their vision to you, then you should do the due diligence of actually knowing what you're doing, or at least researching about knowing what you're doing. So yes, always learn. Secondly, your passion is pointing you to something. They can and even should be your portfolio. Don't just like to create content and think that it's just something you like to do in your pastime. In this real world of marketing, it can make you a lot of money. 3, take yourself as a personal project and give yourself the best shot that you deserve. Be consistent, always show up, be disciplined, learn as often as you can. Just do your best to improve yourself and you're going to thank yourself, literally. Too many selves in this statement, but you get the point. 4, be patient with yourself. I know that I said to show up and take yourself as a personal project, but please be patient with yourself. The process often takes time, and it's a continuous process of learning. And finally, ensure that you prioritize giving value over the money or whatever benefit is in it for you. This is the only right heart to have towards anything that will be impactful. And that is it, guys. I really hope today's video was helpful. Let me know if you still have questions in the comments and I'll be very happy to respond to you. Oh, by the way, feel free to reach out to me via any social media platform. I've linked my handles in the description below. Subscribe if you haven't and share this to as many people who you think will need it. And see you in the next video.